18 in the evening in Orlando area. I hope I don't scream, and I hope you can hear me well. I'm wearing this microphone. It's a little button on my shirt. I bought it a couple of weeks ago. It's been working great for me. How do you like my look? Welcome to my live stream. I am in such a good mood. It's been such an interesting week. Kids had spirit days every day at school. They would dress up, no uniform. They would dress up, different theme. And the culmination of the week is the homecoming dance for my junior high school. Oh yeah, 11th grade. I have an 11th grader. I'm Kate B. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. If you're first time on my channel, I'm an immigrant from Eastern Europe. I've been living in the United States, Orlando area, Florida for the past 20 years. No, almost 20. 19. I came here in 2006 to be a student in the local community college. I graduated with my accounting degree from the local community college, State College now. And now I stayed here. I got happily married. I've been married for 17 years now. I have 2 beautiful kids and 2 beautiful stepkids from my husband's previous marriage. So my husband is a dad of 4 kids. So between 2 of us, we have 4 kids, and I have 2 girls. One of my girls is 16, my firstborn, and my other daughter is 12. She's in 7th grade. But today my heart is so full. Earlier in the morning, I had a live stream with the lady from England, and we were gossiping and discussing some YouTubers, some mutual YouTubers, some bloggers we watch. But I went to a special event. My daughter and a group of friends from her high school were getting together to get ready for the homecoming dance. And the host, the mom, the family, one of my daughter's friends, they had a nice house in the woods, and the mom arranged the meal for them, the dinner for them. And we also were, like, the parents were invited to take pictures and to hang out with the high schoolers. And for the first time, I got to experience that last year when the girls getting ready. And this year I knew what to expect. And after last year's event, I remember how excited I was to be around teenagers, to be around beautiful crowd of kids, like very good kids from very good school, very talented, very smart, very outgoing, very social, very handsome boys, and very beautiful girls, all these dresses, makeup, hair. And it was such a good vibe that this year I was looking forward that Zoe invites me too. So she did invite me, and because she forgot her dress and I had to drive and bring her dress when she was getting ready, like she was putting makeup and like made her hair. So did other girls too. So also Zoe brought some flowers so they could do like little flower bouquets for all the girls to take good pictures, to take pretty pictures. The weather is beautiful. We're expecting a storm. Like, let's pray the storm passes and does not, like the storm, the tropical storm that can be hurricane, like they can be category 5 hurricane, but it's in Atlantic and it could hit Cuba or Hawaii. Or what I'm talking about, Haiti, not Hawaii. No, forget it. Forget I said that. Cuba, Haiti, and Jamaica. But hopefully, we pray that this storm is not as severe as it's projected. But hopefully, everybody's safe, and hopefully, the storm is not gonna affect any country, any cities. The storm is called Melissa, so we're just keeping an eye on the news just to make sure maybe the storm slows down and stays in Atlantic, so let's pray for that. So I wanted to share, because it's Saturday evening, like Saturday Night Live, right? Saturday Night Live, so I'm gonna try to be funny, but what I wanted to talk about, like how full my heart is from seeing all these beautiful teenagers, how they interact between each other. And there was a boy who actually brought a bunch of flowers and was giving like flowers to random girls. It was so sweet to see. I almost cried. And again, you know, sometimes they don't have future recent generation and the young generation. Sometimes I think we grow in a bunch of lazy, privileged kids. But you know, I always change my mind when I'm around them, how well they behave, how nice and polite they are, what conversations they have, how respectful they are, how faithful they are. They're guided by the Lord Jesus Christ. They go into Christian school. They have very strong Christian values, and their goal is just to become good people, just to be happy, to become good people, to do good for themselves, their families, and their society, and of course to serve God in the prayer and like being very good human beings. And like some days I'm desperate because I think like with the technology, with everything that our kids have and enjoy living in the United States, sometimes I think they're ungrateful. But the moments I go and see them for this special event, like how they interact, how they talk, how they behave, I know I have faith in future generation. I have faith they're going to be good professionals, good doctors, good people who are going to change the world. I have fully trust in God that to guide them and to save them. And all of them have happy and successful lives. Post more Stella vids. Miss Gymnast 123, welcome to my channel. Thank you. I'll try. Stella is starting the competition season in January, so more videos will come in January. I don't go to her practice often, but sometimes if the coach sends me the videos from the practice, I'll post some videos of Stella on my channel. But thank you for your kind comment. Thank you, Miss Gymnast 123. So today, I was thinking what I'm gonna talk about on my live stream, and besides like all my rants about the kids and how hard parenting is and how we grow a bunch of privileged like kids that don't understand how the rest of the world live. Today the rant is not about it. Today I know people love drama. I know people love to watch interesting stories. And people like to watch like intrigues and, you know, crime, and they like to watch podcasts about, you know, some maybe interesting or weird or bad events. But my channel in general is about me expressing myself, expressing my thoughts, expressing my attitudes, expressing my, you know, like my views on life. So today I was thinking what I'm going to talk about, and it's a beautiful evening. I already fed Stella dinner, and I'm going to be here, wake up until 10:30 or maybe like even later, waiting for my daughter to come from homecoming dance to hear all the news. And why my heart is full also because she got invited, like there was a spontaneous date. Someone invited to be the date for the homecoming, and it happened like very unexpectedly. And I'm very happy because it's someone who wants to experience a nice homecoming event for the first time, and it was a handsome boy, handsome, like how you say it, lad. And I'm happy Zoe gets this experience to be invited to be someone's date for the homecoming. So I'm very happy for her. That's how, you know, that's how they socialize. That's how teenagers make like first move to like someone, and you know, and I'm very happy the boy invited her to be his date for the evening. So that's the news. I don't know if she's probably gonna be mad at me that I'm sharing that, but I'm the mom, you know. She's the most important. She's the most important person in my world, so I want her to be happy. I want her to have like fun experiences. Being a teenager, being a high schooler, because she's a junior. Next year she's going to be senior, and the school is over. So I want her to have good memories, to have fun at the dance, and you know, like experience all the joys that teenagers experience without too much drama or, you know, like trouble stories. But today I was thinking what I'm going to talk about besides, you know, being excited about my kid having a good time. I was planning to talk about I was planning to talk about situations at work and how we handle those situations, and how to be professional, how to not take it too close to your heart, and how to improve your communication skills. So it's not going to be a lecture, it's just going to be ketchup fridge pantry. Who's that? It's so funny. Ketchup fridge pantry. Ketchup fridge. Bacteria grows if you keep ketchup in the pantry. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for your comments. I have one viewer. I hope you're enjoying my live stream so far. And again, sometimes if I don't have viewers, I don't get discouraged, because this is my, video diary, and I'm here for myself. It's my sort of like some kind of like, therapy for me to be able to sit in front of the camera, to feel free to talk about any topic, about like topics and thoughts and philosophy, that how I look at the world, how I react, and reflect a little bit about what's going on in life in general. And this is my way, when I don't have my husband at home to chat. Of course, I have a big family and I can discuss anything. Like yesterday, it was my husband's birthday, and we had such a nice family time at the local Italian restaurant. We had a blast. We were remembering a lot of things with my dad, laughing. Kids were happy to be with us, and it just felt so great. But my kids are a little older, they're more independent, they want to have time for themselves, so I don't want to be every minute bothering them and like do something together. We did something together today with Stella, and I did my fair share of time with my older daughter for her special events. So now I don't want to feel lonely and talk to myself, but this is a great platform for people to be able to share what's filling their heart and what's they feel in their souls, and to let the world out that you are who you are. And if you want to share like your views and your philosophy, it's just your own perception of the world, it's just your own vision, it's just your own philosophy, and nothing wrong with sharing it with the world. Maybe your viewer is going to share your views, or maybe your viewer is not going to like what you're talking about, but it's life, and everybody is entitled to have their own feelings, to have their own views, to have their own values, to have their own, how they see the world, and to have their own impressions and feelings. So, situations at work, and how we learn through different situations, what we learn. And of course, everybody will say communication is the key, but when you've been in the job like for 10 years, when you're planning to stay in the same environment, instead of making conflicts, you try to make peace with everybody. You try to make peace with yourself and your workflows, your loads of work, and how you react to different like crazy stressful situations. And I have some examples to discuss with you today. And those examples, I think that examples from real life are the most interesting to understand how different people react and what to expect in the professional environment. And again, I work in the big, if you haven't been on my channel, if you haven't heard my blah 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 in my previous live streams, or like in my videos, just to tell you a little more about myself, I for the past 10 years I've been working in their local university's library. And this is a huge, big university. I think it's third by the amount of students we have in the nation. So we are very proud to be a part of such a huge, big higher education school, research university. And this year, our university got a I always cannot pronounce that word. Like superior, like superior school, like preemption reward or something, award, preemption university or something. Like, I cannot say that word. I need to practice more. But anyways, it's a big deal. I'm very proud to work for such a big organization. And it's a huge community of employees, students, patrons, like the community we serve, like mostly students, researchers, faculty. And it's a very rewarding experience to be a part of higher education process, to be a part of such a good organization. So, but it's not a corporate world, of course. This opportunity to work for this school comes with a grain of salt. When I can tell you they don't pay like good, decent salaries to people still struggling, surviving on the salaries they pay there in the state school. But on the other hand, we get great benefits, like our insurance plans is amazing. Our insurance plans are very, how I should say it, affordable in the school. Like on top of they pay in salaries, it's a great benefit to have good retirement contributions that employers pay for your retirement plan, and it's also good benefits like in terms of insurance. We have very, very affordable insurance plans that cover most of the needs of the medical care. So I shouldn't complain about not making like huge money like I could make as an accountant in any corporation. I should be grateful because the breadwinner in my family is my husband. And, the work brings me joy, and it's a good balance between family life and my professional career. So I found a place that, okay, the money is not, I'm not making as much as my husband makes in the corporate world, but, I'm pretty happy with my balance between my career and my family obligations and my family duties, my mommy duties. And I've been there for 10 years. So of course, it's something good, and it's something, that, sometimes bother me, but in general, I'm planning to stay there. So I cannot just, trash my work all the time. I cannot bring you the drama and scoop and poop all the time, about like, how I feel in the stressful situation. So I'm not a person to complain or be in this victim mentality. I'm more of a person to find the ways to improve my own, like my own lifestyle and my own comfort in a place of work. So if I don't like something, I'm finding the ways not to escalate the conflict. I'm finding the ways to find peace with things and to fix things and to mend things. And I think it's a valuable skill. I used to be, stressed, and I used to take things too close to my heart, but I'm growing, getting more mature, and getting more wisdom, and improving communication skills most of the times. Yeah, I can be a bitch too, and I can be very blunt and straightforward, because my culture, when I grew up, people were not sugarcoating a lot of things. And yeah, I can come across very blunt and harsh, but I think it's one of my strengths too, because people don't have guts to tell you in the face, and sometimes if you have guts, at some point they can reflect and respect you later, So if you've been watching me recently, or if you haven't watched me, whatever, I'll give you information that recently my supervisor has changed, my manager has changed. I'm a supervisor and for a very small unit, and I'm proud of where I am, because like above me, I still have a lot of leadership that kind of has my back and decides for bigger, more important situations. And I'm only a technical, technical employee, so I'm taking care of a lot of things. But the big decisions, like the big money spendings, it's not on me. I'm just told what to do, right? But because I have knowledge, because I have experience in my workplace, again, I work in the huge, big library, and I work behind the scenes. I'm not working with the public. I'm not giving the books out like many of you, have a vision of the library that somebody's standing there giving you the books. And I'm not a librarian. I'm in technical services. I work in the acquisitions. Acquisitions is when we purchase, we acquire, we buy, we subscribe for a lot of resources, a lot of library resources. And when they say library resources, and a good name for a plant. Okay, you can play that game with me. So I'm proud where I am, you know, because you know, as an immigrant, a lot of people don't get decent education. A lot of people don't get decent jobs. As an immigrant, life is harsh for you if you came here already with some education from your country. It's hard to make this education count here. Most of the times people have to go back to school again and get a new profession, new skill set, something that is in demand in this particular country. So I think I did pretty well, considering that I'm not just you know, I'm not just surviving on a minimal wage all these years. I do have a very stable job with benefits and with like decent, you know, amount of vacation time, and with a little bit of savings towards my retirement, blah, blah, blah. So all these benefits I told you about. But, you know, to tell you the truth, again, the salaries in the state schools are not the best. They are not compared to corporate world. Probably I could make more money if I work as an accountant, but the stress and the demands of the job would be way more than what I have now. So to make the story short, like I give you 3 situations at work, like what I'm dealing with. And again, when I say resources for the library, like back in the day, we all think about all these shelves and the books, print books. And you probably have your own library. In most houses, we have a little shelf with the books. Like, would it be kids' books? Would it be your favorite books? Would it be your, you know, books from travels, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, like when you think about the library, think about that smell, you know, when you go, and every library in the world smelled the same. Like I remember as a kid going to the local library where I lived in the Republic of Moldova. It was a Soviet country. And of course, the communism will provide public libraries with a certain, you know, books for kids and to support the communism idea, blah, blah, blah. But the money was handled by the government, and excuse me, the state libraries were covered by the money of the government. And of course, I remember as a kid going through the rows of books and the smell, the dust. It was like very universal feeling going through the rows of books, being in the library, and I like that idea. My mom was ordering books back. We couldn't buy some books like directly from the store. They were not on the market. So you had this sort of a subscription when you subscribe to have this, you know, like collection of this author, particular author or a poet. And my mom used to be a part of that, you know, subscription plan, whatever you want to call it. So when she gets like some kind of like Lev Tolstoy, the collection of Lev Tolstoy, Vaina Mir, or like whatever, she'll be very thrilled. And then they give you extra books. They're not bestsellers. They don't sell well. Like a lot of novels, a lot of you know, foreign authors. And I remember when I was a kid, my mom had this book, you know, like it looked like hold on. It looked like sort of a planner, because this book was for the home library to take notes what books you have. And I remember I was fascinated with this notebook because I felt like, I don't know, maybe it was a sign from the God that in future, like many years later, like 30 years later, I'm gonna end up working in the library and loving this career, you know. So I don't know why, I really loved that notebook. And that notebook was in black leather cover, like it had like hard cover, and inside the pages were so white and such a good quality paper. And what I liked about it, it was like lined. It was lined, and there was book name, author, and it was another column, and I can't remember what it was. Like maybe it was some type of a home library catalog. Like maybe it was like some sort of note where the book is, like which row. Like, did my mom put books alphabetically? Absolutely not. We put them in the shelves in our living room for display, and the shelves were mostly like pretty straight shelves with the books maybe by the collections, or like we had different types of encyclopedias that were very big, and we had lots of geographic atlases that were stored a little higher. Like they were put like flat because on the shelf it wasn't enough height to put those books on the shelves. So we had our display of books, and when I was a kid, I played the game that I'm a librarian and I'm organizing these books and I'm trying to write down in this notebook. I remember vividly that I started to write, and I think it was by alphabetical order. So I started to put like Pushkin, Tolstoy. I started to use that book to write down, to record what books we have in the collection, in our family collection. I wish I see that notebook right now, because I kind of miss that feelings. And back in the day, we also were so like, you know, like at school, because we didn't have gadgets, we didn't have like phones, we didn't have anything. So at school, I remember me and my friends, we played games. Did you guys play these games when we pretended we work for the office? Like back in the day, it wasn't even called office, of like it was called firm or kontora. Знаете, kontora in Russian language. Kontora, it was such a weird word. It's like, it was like, we didn't use the word office a lot, because it mostly was like kontora или там какой-то главк, like some administrative office. And as kids, we would take like blank papers from our parents. If our parents worked for some type of office, they would have like blanks you can fill in, like for whatever reason. And we come to and we had those like folders, and those folders were made from cardboard paper, and you put your like A4 papers there, and you put them, and those folders were paper folders, and they had little two threads. You tie them up, and you like you feel like a very important person, like playing office. And I remember me and a couple of my girlfriends, we played office, like we fill in the blanks, and we fill in like those, like, how you call them, different type of forms for something. And we pretend that we were working in the office. And I really, like as a kid, I liked all these detail games, like where you have to write something down and pretend we pay attention, pretend you're an accountant, or pretend you're somebody who gives out the money to employees, like a cashier or something, and play such games. So I have very good memories of that too. So I think because I think I'm in the right place, because acquisitions is more about purchasing from different vendors, like making sure the deliveries and like the books we order, they come, blah, 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 checking and stuff. And I like the type of job because we spend money and it's not my money, and I like to shop. And that's like kind of like I'm shopping for a big, huge university library, and I'm shopping, not spending my own money, I'm spending university's money. But sometimes I have to be frugal with university's money too. So it's a good job. I like it. It's like, it makes sense to me. You know, I like to pay attention to details. I like to correspond with vendors when things go wrong. I like to find discrepancies in like different types of books and prices, blah, blah, blah. And I like to order books like through the big acquisition system of the UCF. I like all the integrated system, like library system, where I keep like good records of the order lines, and I like invoicing. I like, it just makes sense to me. I like ordering and receiving processes. So there are two types of processes we have, like ordering books and then receiving books, and making sure like the books that got canceled by the vendor are reordered again, blah blah blah. So, and also I like to keep an eye that libraries are not the same anymore, you know, like after COVID, when people were stuck at home and a lot of things were online only, so there was a demand for electronic resources a long time ago, not only during COVID, but most of the time, like most of the book plans that the libraries bought were like based on print books. But with electronic materials, you know, a lot of university libraries now buying mostly electronic resources, because physical spaces are limited, and a lot of university libraries, they cannot handle the collection size, you know, like if all these years, like our university is only like 55 years old, yeah, but there are universities which are like 150 years old. Where are they going to store all these books? Like physically, there are no spaces to store print materials and books anymore. So someone said, I don't know who was that, Einstein or someone said that the book's going to be obsolete, and unfortunately it's happening. Like most of the print books are becoming obsolete because everybody can find anything at their fingertips. In the new age of technology, everything can be found like right away at your fingertips. So electronic resources are more common, and all the money a lot of educational institutions are spending is for electronic resources. So I told you briefly, it wasn't briefly, I hope it's not too boring. It wasn't briefly about what I work and what I do. So it's technical services. Let's say we work behind the scene, we make things happen. We are the people who buy the books for the whole library collection. So, and we deal with a lot of different situations. So we are technical people. We do not decide what to buy. Like most of the resources we buy in our library are supporting the programs that are taught and available at the university for people to study a certain program. Tikaraj, welcome. Hi, miss your beautiful, lovely smile. Welcome, Tikaraj. Thank you for all your kind and supportive comments on my channel. It's very nice of you to always write me very kind and, you know, beautiful comments. I appreciate you as my viewer. So I'm talking about the library. I'm talking about where I work and what situations I have to deal at work. And I don't know if it's boring, but it's just something for me to express myself, to let my viewers know a little more about myself and my professional career and my, you know, like what I do at work and how I make money. Don't worry, my good friend. I'm so sorry. Different language. Tikaraj, where are you from? Where are you from? Which country you're from? Tikaraj, welcome. Welcome to my live stream. So what I do at work. So sometimes I deal with the situations that at first they sound like a little stressful to me, but then when I just let emotions aside, I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. You know, I'm capable. I have 10 years of experience in my job. I can manage. So recently my боже мой, сейчас попью воды. I had a drink of water. My mouth got really dry talking. But anyways, I'm very serious about everything I do, you know. I'm not fooling around. I'm not trying to cut the corners. I was always a person of order. I like order. I like rules. I like to stay in my lane, but you know, I like procedures. I was always a person of the straight line, you know. I don't know if it's like being raised in the communist system. I think it's just a part of my personality. Like accounting and order makes sense to me. Mathematics makes sense to me over humanities, over philosophy, or, you know, big reading materials. I was always a person of numbers. Numbers make sense to me. I was always a person of counting money, whatever you want to name it. It's just a skill. It's just a trait of my personality. So when I chose to be when I chose accounting, like back in Europe, I went to school to be a part of human resources, but it was a school of economics, and sociology and human resources was a part of business majors in that school of economics back in Republic of Moldova. So when I chose accounting, when I came here, I kind of felt that accounting is a bulletproof profession and you can always find jobs in accounting because it's so applicable. Even during the COVID times when people lost businesses, accountants never lost their jobs, you know, because it was always something that accountant had to do to serve the businesses, to make, you know, like financial statements and make like different accounting procedures, blah, blah, blah. So accounting is a very good profession. So when I came here, I chose that profession because I knew I'm very good with math. Like order makes sense to me, rules make sense to me, financial statements and financial literacy makes sense to me. This birthday, my birthday, same month, my lovely good friend. Okay, I'm very happy for you, Tilka Raj. August is my birthday and your birthday too. How old are you? How many years? So, enough about accounting. And it's just, I like that a lot of workflows are very similar day to day, but a lot of times I can do it automatically on autopilot, but some situations brings like the best in me because some interesting situation or not ordinary situation, I have to think how to deal with them. And today I'm going to talk to you about people who are like, who are working in the library. They have like librarians, they are people, they are professionals who got master's degree in library science and who really decide what resources, like what particular resources, what, like, let's say authors or monographs or collections or databases we have. So beautiful looking, super smart. My good friend. Yeah, that's the glasses make me look smart. The glasses, any blonde, if you add glasses, that makes any blonde look smarter because usually they consider blondes not very smart. Remember the Legally Blonde movie. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, like people who get special degree in information science, like special master's degree, they are librarians. They decide for the whole university, for the whole library, what needs to be bought. And I'm a person who just makes these purchases happen and who makes sure to keep good records and everything works and everything we order and spend money for, that works. So there are new people that have been hired recently, and what have changed, my management has changed because the lady who I reported to, the lady who was my manager 10 years, I remember the day when she was hired. I was so happy, and I remember the day we interviewed her because she was becoming my manager, and she came a little later than I came. Let's say I came in April 2015, and my supervisor, my manager, came a little later, about a year later, at the end of the 2016. But I remember the search committee. I remember how we all liked her, how professional she was, And she happened to be such a good manager to her. I had such a good work relationship with her for the past like 9 years. And I remember during the interview, I was the one to take her for a coffee break. And I remember buying a coffee with my own money because I wasn't given the money, and you know, I don't know why, but during the break from the big, like huge interview, I was the one to bring her to the coffee shop, and I asked her if she wants a coffee, and I bought the cup of coffee to her with my own money. And this cup of coffee went like such a long way for me. It was like a lucky cup of coffee. I bought my future boss a cup of coffee, and that's kind of like cemented my good start of the relationship, work relationship with that person. And after my vacation in Sicily this summer, after I came back from my vacation in August, beginning of July, I learned like right after 4th of July, I got this email, and I learned that she's leaving to get a bigger boss, bigger career step forward. She got it in the different university in the different state. And I was devastated because when your management, when your leadership changes, you don't know how another person will be, and will he treat you with respect? Will he treat you with fairness? You don't know these things. Black dress, beautiful. It's a little shirt. Thank you. Smart looking. Thank you. So you never know. Like in this particular case, I was so happy with my manager that I didn't want her to leave. So I was in some sort of panicky mode, like what it means for me. But because she was very smart and she taught me a lot of procedures, a lot of new skills, she passed me some of her duties that now I'm kind of equipped. Whoever comes to be my new manager, like I'll be the boss in terms of how things are done, because I have that knowledge and I keep an eye on everything, and I know procedures. I know how to do certain things that my new boss might not know, and I'll be the person to maybe teach my new boss how to do things. But in the meantime, before we hired my new boss, I got a new person who is my manager, my supervisor, and he's a very nice gentleman. He's a very very nice, and you know, like what you say, down to earth person that we get along very well for the past, let's say, September, October, almost 2 months. It's been 2 months, no, August, September and October, 2.5 months. We've been getting along very well, and if I bring some concerns to him, he's on my side. He's helping me to decide on tricky situations. He's helping me with a lot of things I am not able to decide on my own. So, but now I'm looking for a new person at some point, maybe after New Year's, maybe in January 2026. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking forward to a new person to be my manager. And I don't know how I feel because I'm not in a search committee, so I don't have that control to, you know, like how I had a little bit of control being on search committee 10 years ago and buying my future supervisor a cup of coffee. It really made a difference to me. But now I should trust people who are in the search committee, and one of my good coworkers who I kind of trust her judgment because she's been there for 25 years in our department. And she's very knowledgeable, she's very professional, she's like just a smart person. So I am trusting her with her search committee duties, and I'm trusting her to get a good person to be my new boss. But I kind of regret I'm not on the committee, because I was on the other committee and I can't be on the both committees at the same time. I was in another important committee to search to employ a new big boss in our library. So I guess I can let it go, but I still have regrets because I'm a control freak. I like a lot of things to be under my control. Like I you know, and I have to talk to that other person that I trust her, but I still have regrets. I'm not gonna pick in my future boss from my own point of view, being there, being involved in the whole hiring process. Of course, I'm gonna go for interviews. Of course, I'm gonna give my feedback. Of course, I'm gonna see all these people who are gonna be candidates for the job to be my boss. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, I have these regrets. But anyways, 45 minutes. I've been talking for 45 minutes. Thank you, my dear viewers, for being with me. And I know it's like a Saturday night. You have more important and fun things to do while listening, not like listening to some random people on YouTube. But I put little notes about the situation. So, new librarians sending orders in the email. So what the situations I had to deal like this week when I really got up on fire. My brains were like, I don't want to do that this way. I was so mad. But then I figured it out. Like, if you talk about your concerns in a professional way, if you're not screaming or yelling or throwing a fit, nice to meet. I'm very happy. Very thanks, my sweet, cute, lovely friend. Okay, thank you. So this new person, she just got hired recently. So she's gonna be one of the librarians who helps with the educational programs in our university. So she's the first time person who selects the materials that needed for this particular program in education, higher education. So she sends this big huge email with a big huge like Excel file telling me that this is the titles, the book titles she needs for this particular exam, for this particular higher education whatever program. And I see that and I'm like, no, lady, things are not done by email here. Like, imagine 35 people send me the email and I have to sit down and dig the information about where to buy these books, how much these books cost, and everybody sends me a huge list with the titles in just an Excel spreadsheet. So I flip out. I say, nope, the things are not done this way. Here we have a special system where the selectors can go in the system and see the options of the books. They can buy like some sort of the vendor's catalog is attached to our library software, to our library system, that everything is done automatically. The selectors go there, they are trained to select a particular books, like let's say 15 or 16 or 20 books at a time they can select. And the system sends us notifications and we order in that system because the process is automatic. It's straightforward. They send us, we approve. We see which option is better to buy, which is cheaper, which makes sense. Like now we buy a lot of electronic book resources, and electronic book has their certain amount of uses. Like some books are allowed to be used unlimited amount of uses at the same time. So let's say different students sit in their rooms and they want to study, and it's not just one person having a print book and another person have to wait 2 weeks until this book got returned. With electronic books, it's easier when we buy them from the vendor. The electronic book come in the online format, and it could be 50 students reading the same book at the same time, but it could be the books that are not sold in the unlimited views option, and these books can be expensive. Only one user can use a book, electronic book at a time. So if I'm online reading the book, the other student, the other faculty, the other person at the university cannot check this book until I'm reading this book online. Also, with online books, you can upload certain amount of the PDF file to your computer, so you can read the book from your computer later, not online, but only a certain amount of pages can be downloaded for copyright issues, so people don't resell those books, don't resell those PDF files. It's all covered by copyrights issues. It's illegal to read the book from the library and pass it, or try to download the whole book and sell it to someone else. It's like illegal, because those electronic books are protected by copyright laws. So I received a message, and this person is new, and she's super professional. She's super nice, writing the email, please let me know if I did something wrong, but I need this, this, and this. And first of all, I opened this file and I flip out, like like the title and the author is in one column and something else in the other column, and it needs to be like, if it's a spreadsheet, it needs to be one column is the title, another column is ISBN number. It's a unique number, machine readable number that attached to a certain mark record, like machine readable, like catalog record, and it should be an author, it should be edition year, stuff like that. And her job to pick those books, like her job as a librarian, as a selector, as a person who decides what to buy for the collection, her job to select these titles in the special system of the vendors database that is attached to our system, our library system. And I'm like, lady, I'm like, I know you knew. I'm like, but thank you for asking. She was very professional. She was very polite. She was very nice in her email, like in the body of her email. Like, now people write emails with AI. Who knows? Maybe she wrote her email with AI. That's why it looked so polite and professional. She said, if I did something wrong, please let me know. If a different way I have to send you these orders, but I need these books, this, and this, because this, and this. And I'm like, nope. And I'm not a person to tell her, because I'm just an employee in the technical services who is processing the orders. But in her email, she's adding my supervisor too, so he sees the email, and I'm like, right away I'm writing, like I'm forwarding this email to my supervisor. I'm like, nope, this lady needs to be trained, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to sound like but if she's not trained right now how to do her job, I'm not going to be able to babysit every person who makes like way more money and have way better education than I do. So I asked my boss to train her and to explain her where she can find those books, but I do my own research. I help them out. I tell them that, like, what I do a little bit poking around. I go in the system, I go to the vendor's catalog, and I see all these books are there, they're available for purchase and stuff like that. So, and I'm letting him know, so I did this, that, and that, so I suggest she does that and that and that. So then the process is going to not be forever, and I'm not doing a part of her job she's paid for. So she needs training. I'm very happy to train her, but if I'm not telling her this now, she would assume that she's gonna just send me her selections by email. But nope, it doesn't work like that, because it adds a lot of time to my workload to process this kind of emails, Once in a while, we have exceptions for the email orders, but that's a different story. But in this situation, she had to go to this vendor's catalog, and she had to do her part of the job. So I'm telling my boss, and he's like, yeah, I really appreciate your concern. You're right. I'm going to sit down with her, explain to her how it works step by step. And if anything, we need your help. Thank you for the preliminary search. Like, I did a preliminary search because I'm very fast with these things. I just go to the database. I just figure out that Those editions are new. They might be duplicating. We don't do duplicates. We don't buy the book of the same author and the same title, even if it's a different edition. We can only buy them in the case we only have print books, but we really need ebooks because a lot of classes are online. The students never come to campus. If they need those books, they need to be online. So in this case, we have a print in the print collection, but we also buy ebook of the same title of the same author. So, and I'm thinking there, and I'm like, at first I'm feeling a little like annoyed because, you know, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing somebody else's work. I'm putting my boundaries right away. And on the other hand, I think when I complain to my supervisor, he would think, oh, who am I to complain? Just do the job, you know, but they understand the more load they give to us to do for someone else, the less effective we're gonna be with our own duties, you know. So I'm not there to do someone else's duty who makes like 50 grand more than I do, you know, in money. So I'm like, nope, lady, you've been to school. You've been to school more than I've been to school. So go ahead and learn how to do it properly. So my work is easier. My step of this work and ordering process is easier. And she was very nice about it. She replied to my supervisor and they sat down, they made a meeting and they went over the selection process in the system with the vendors database with the special like purchase catalog. And he explained to her, and the next step for her was to select those books and options, and she did amazing. I was surprised, like some people are quick learners and they really pay attention. Maybe they make notes, maybe they try to do it like a couple of times to learn the process. But this lady, she was such a quick learner. She did her job. And then we were able to process these orders, and she said that this research, the preliminary research of the books available on that particular vendor, it helped because she kind of understood what she needs to do in the program, in the software, in the integrated library system. We name it, you know, so she was ready to do that. So, and I was so happy, like when I talked to my supervisor, I said, I'm sorry I complained at first. And he said, your concern was totally valid. You can come to me with any concerns you have, and you were right. Everybody needs to do a part of their job. So that was the situation. And it's an interesting situation with this particular brand because at first I found a very expensive electronic book. And check this out. It's also an interesting situation. You would never think that withholding information, like it's like in court. If you're withholding information, like in court, you know, like if you're in court, if you're being like trialed, or if you're being, you know, if you're testifying for the court, you have to be honest. You put your hand on Bible and you have to be honest that you're going to disclose information to the best of your knowledge and ability, blah, 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 and you'll be truthful. And, you know, God, you know, trust, you know, we trust the God, and in God we trust. And in my profession, I have to be truthful too. So I'm not allowed to withhold information, but, you know, because I found an ebook being very, very expensive, I kind of didn't say that these books exist. And I kind of assumed that we're not going to buy $1,000 book if the print book costs like $180. Yeah. Electronic book, some books are very rare and they're protected, and the vendors, the publishers, they want to sell them for the most like price. And some book can cost $1,000. Just one electronic book can cost $1,000. And in this case, this book is protected with digital right management laws. And there looks to be a large cockroach on your wall, is it? Where? No, there is no cockroach on my wall. No cockroach on my wall. Johnny Wayne, where? We live in Florida. We could have large cockroaches on my wall, but not at this time. Where? Thank you for telling me. We have huge palmetto bugs, and if it's raining outside, we live in Florida, and we do have big, huge cockroaches on our walls sometimes. But I don't see one. If I see one, I'm gonna go and attack it. Thank you. It was near the vent? Oh my gosh. Yeah, they come through the vents. Jesus Christ, that's scary. Yeah, they come through the vents, but I didn't notice one. If I notice one, I'm gonna go and kick its butt. Thank you for telling me though. So I know it might be boring, but you know, it's my job and I pay attention and I like it and I'm proud of what I do, so I'm sharing with you. So in this particular case, I'm kind of withholding information. I'm kind of telling that I can order this book as print because I saw it cheaper. I'm like, we're saving money. But I had to disclose it because it could cause troubles later. Like the school cannot share the resources with other schools, but we can share with some universities. But there is a lot of like digital rights and laws to protect copywriting, and books are considered copyrighted material, so we can't just share it with anybody. But in this case, this print book can be scanned and shared, like some chapters can be shared with other universities or other students that need it. But in this case, if the ebook exists, even if it's very expensive, it's not allowed by law to share the print book scans. You know what I mean? Smart working, my friend. Thank you, Chico. So like my mistake, and don't be afraid. People make mistakes at work, whether they make a mistake by accident or deliberately. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking not to spend a lot of money in this particular case. But at the end, when I was ordering the print, I wanted to make sure, and I kind of have this like nudge feeling, like you trust your instincts, you trust your feelings. If you've been on a job more than 5 years, you have to trust your instincts because you've done it so many times that you automatically see like something might be wrong. And in this case, I was right. So if I wouldn't disclose that information to the librarians, like the people in charge of sharing these materials or using these materials for the class, they would just scan and share it with the class. But that's against the law, and our library will be in a big trouble. We can get a big fine, or we can get sued, and nobody wants that, you know. So finally, before ordering this book, I'm writing to my supervisor. I'm like, I'm sorry. I probably, when I made this like pre-research, I probably missed something, but I kind of have a feeling now. I have to tell you that this ebook exists. So if it's for an online class, the print book cannot be really used for the whole class. So will you consider buying this? And now it escalates further and it escalates further and it escalates to the person who decides how much money we want to spend on this particular book, if it's for the class, if it makes sense financially to buy it. And that protects us to share the print book as scanned materials, not to break the copyright law. You know what I mean? Like there are laws and we have to abide these laws. And you know, the worst thing, we want to do something, you know, that we're gonna get sued by the publisher that we did the wrong thing, and it will be my fault that I didn't notify someone that this electronic material exists. So. And I had a good feeling about it because I didn't know about a particular law, why we buy a print book. I was just thinking we're saving money, but it could cause us problems. So I had to disclose this information, and I have to take because, you know, like not many people want to make a decision, you know, like some people like want to ask higher ups, like, what do you think? Like if you have more knowledge, if you have more experience in that field, if you know, like it's really needed for a certain group of, you know, researchers, or $1,000 for a book is very expensive. But if it benefits a lot of people in that particular class if they're studying for exam, or they're doing the research that's gonna, you know, help them publish their research. And you know, it's not that important. It's not that much to spend $1,000 in this regard. So I'm glad I disclosed that information. So the next situation, okay, that was one situation with this new person that I told them what to do. Even a small person can tell a big person, like the higher up person, what to do. And don't be afraid to speak up your mind. Don't be afraid if you know how procedure is done. Don't be afraid to enforce the procedure on the people, even if those people are higher ups, or even those people are, you know, like have better, like higher positions in your organization. Don't be afraid to tell them right from wrong, and don't be afraid when you know your job. Don't be afraid to say it's not my job, or don't be afraid to guide people to the right training tools. And in this case, be professional. If you can't take to a higher up person, just tell your supervisor, and your supervisor should always have your back. Your supervisor should always act in your defense. That's how good supervisors are. Always, if my staff have a question, I only have two full-time staff I supervise, but if my staff have a question or they can't decide, I got their backs. I decide for them. I make sure I correspond to vendors, and I make situation clear. If I don't tell what to do, I do it myself, you know. Okay, second situation, vendors. You know, there are vendors, they're trying to sell you everything, and they don't care. They really want to sell you, you know. So vendors are always want to sell you stuff. They don't care, you know. They don't care. They want to make them money, and they know libraries have money for the resources. So they send you, let's say they send you a bunch of books we go over every week. We share this responsibility between three of us, so we rotate. 1 week, one person takes care of this list. Another week, another person takes care of this like list of books, and third week, the third person takes, and we alternate. So this list, like this particular list, we call it approval books, approval plan. So these books got pre-approved according to our programs, like they get sent automatically, right? But because some books are bought within some other collections from some other vendors or directly from publishers, those books in the list can duplicate the titles we already have. So in this case, we need our eyes and brains to see if we have it in the collection, we don't need to buy it again and spend another $200 on the book we already have, right? So we need our eyes and attention. So probably if they pay us, like every time we find like 5 or even 10 duplicates, and I tell my friend, my co-workers, I tell them, if every time we get paid $1 for every duplicate we not buying, we're probably gonna make at least $1,000 extra a month just for finding this extra duplicate. So the seller doesn't care, the vendor doesn't care. They want to sell you. They say, aha, you signed up to be a part of this subject, you know, like if we have new books on economics, we're gonna send them to you anyways, and here is your bill, pay for these books. And we say, we have eyes, we're gonna go check each title and make sure we don't already have that book directly bought from a different vendor, or we got this book as a part of a collection or a part of a subscription or whatever other ways we acquired this book before. So we say, don't send us this book because we already have it. Usually this process is done automatically by the systems, like by the software talking to each other. But there are discrepancies. Every system can fail if there are no person involved with the eyes and the brain. So I'm the person with eyes and the brain, and I decide that we already have it, and the vendor wants to sell you. But also there are some there are some errors that are in, unfortunately, when the vendor has a big list of items they want to sell us, unfortunately there are mistakes. And let's say this is the next situation about the wrong book that the vendor wanted to sell it. Like let's say we see the book and it says it's a book about economics. Yes, we buy books about economics and we buy books about management, marketing, and stuff like that. And let's say we purchased the book, we paid for that, and when it's time, and it's electronic book, you know, when the print book comes, you open the box, you see it's the book, you send it to cataloging and send it on the shelf. With the electronic books, it's different. When you receive the electronic books, the vendor tells you, we send you that book, it's on this platform. You have to go to the website, you have to make sure this book opens up, it has all the chapters, you can click on the links, all the links work, blah, blah, blah. That's what we call access to the book, the electronic access online to this particular book. And you can only access this book if you have signed into your library account. If you are a student, if you're a faculty, if you're an employee, you have your access to the library, to the catalog. It authenticates your login information, and only then you can click on the book and read the book that belongs to our library collection, right? So everything is protected by password, by login information. Everything on the websites are protected by you know, by the vendor. They're not gonna let you read that book unless you're part of the university, right? So we go and we check the access. So if we and all of a sudden, like let's say we bought the book that called Economics in 21st Century, right? And we bought it. But when we click on the link, it brings us to another book that says Nanotechnology in Medicine. You know, we didn't purchase that book, Nanotechnology in Medicine, but that link is wrong. It attached to the wrong book, not the book we are paying on the invoice. So that's my job. That's me manually reaching out with the email explaining what happened. So I'm writing that long of an email. I'm attaching my document. I'm saying, hey, this invoice said we bought book in economics. Where is our book in economics? When I click on the link you provided through the notification of access, the link brings me to a different book that is Nanotechnology in Medicine. I didn't order the Nanotechnology in Medicine. I ordered the books about economics. So they write you back and they say, oh, we are so sorry. The book you purchased doesn't exist. It was a mistake on our part that this title was linked to a wrong ISBN number. It's a unique ISBN number that contains the catalog and information, the information about book itself that gets stored, and how you can find the book in the collection, how you can find book related to a subject or a program or area of studies, you know. That's a whole big record, a catalog record describing the book, what's in the book, who is the author, when it was published, blah, blah, blah. And this number is very unique. It's called ISBN number. It can be 10-digit number or 13-digit number. And this number is very unique to the ebook. And this number is very unique to the print book and stuff like that. So, and the vendor telling me, oh, we are so sorry, mistakes happen, we sold you the wrong book. And I'm like, nope, we are not paying the book we didn't want. We want the book we ordered, the title we ordered to support our economics program. And they say, oh, unfortunately it was a mistake, and the book you ordered is not available as electronic book. So I'm writing back and I'm saying, okay, in this case, you need to issue us a credit memo and please let us know, because we don't want to accept the book you want to sell us because of your mistake. We wanted the book we were planning to buy. If it's not available, just return our money. Just don't take our money for a random book you want to sell us, you know? And these situations cannot be solved by AI. You know, these situations cannot be solved by ChatGPT. These situations are solved by people like me, skillful people that know and have experience of doing this procedure day in, day out, you know. I'm not paying for the book I didn't buy. You know, the sellers can sell you, the sellers can sell you from Amazon. They send you, you ordered blue color and they send you white color and they say, no, you have to accept it. Nope. You go and you return it to Amazon. Amazon give you your money back and you can order the one you want. If they say, oh, we are sorry, we don't have white anymore, will you accept blue? You say, nope. You can take back your blue and return me the money. I'm gonna shop somewhere else, right? And the same in the library. I'm not spending my money, but I care about university money. And if we don't want the topic, like I random said nanotechnology, it was even more specific, something that we probably don't teach in our school. So why would we buy a random book for $180? Why? Because the seller wants just to sell and make money? Because the school can buy any books? Nope, it doesn't work like that. All the materials and all the resources should make sense. All the materials should support the subject area that our university teaches to the students in the programs or research or, like some breakthrough, or like space program or engineering program or aviation program, blah, blah, blah. So I've been talking for an hour, 15 minutes. Let me talk about 5 minutes and we're gonna be done. So I feel proud of my work because I notice these things, because I notice those discrepancies. And if a person sits there and doesn't have a clue and doesn't pay attention, he would just, process this invoice, pay for this book. And when the student is gonna say, okay, I want to read about economics and this is really cool author, he would click on the book and say, oh no, I was trying to read the book for the class and now what I'm gonna do, this book is not available, it's a different book. And now they're gonna send us like 300 emails asking where is that particular book I needed for the project or for a class, or I needed for my breakthrough research or something. And we're like, oops, somebody didn't do their job, somebody didn't pay attention that the link was linked, that the link, online link, brought you to a different type of material. So I'm very proud of what I do, and I'm very proud that noticing this discrepancies is my strength. And sometimes, like, I told my coworkers that I boycotted AI meetings because everybody started to talk about AI and how it's going to help our job. And I was like, I'm boycotting AI because nobody's going to take away my job. I'm not going to AI meetings. No thanks. I'm not interested. I'm doing everything with my brain and manually, like I pay attention. I do it with my brain and with my eyes. So at some point I understood that AI can be a friend. It's not going to take my job away. It's going to help me to do some processes more automatically. But somebody needs to be there to teach AI how to do things. And who's going to teach AI? Who's going to give AI this big spreadsheet of discrepancies to verify? It's going to be still people. The knowledge base come from the people. The knowledge base that AI takes the information from to do some automated processes, the knowledge base is still developed by people. Okay, so that's my wisdom. So that's how I still put a couple of examples, but I'll probably do another live stream maybe tomorrow. And if I have my enthusiasm as much as I had my enthusiasm to talk to my viewers today, maybe I'll talk about more about my job duties, and maybe I'll talk from real life examples how I deal with difficult situations. Well, I call them difficult situations, but at the end of the day, if at first you think they're difficult, they're not difficult. They're just a little bit less ordinary, less like automated situations, like whatever we can do without even, too much trouble and time. Like we're doing a lot of processing very efficiently, automatical. And I call them difficult situation because you step out of your comfort zone and you need to reach out to fend for your spendings and to express your problem. And that's also a skill, you know, like some people, they don't know how to express what's wrong. Some people cannot put it in the email or words. Some people are intimidated to talk to vendors. You know, it's a lot of different skill sets people have. But I don't have a problem to reach out and explain what's wrong and what solution I expect, you know. So when you write a professional email, rather than like ripping your hairs off and being all emotional and telling them, we spend the money, what we gonna do, give us our money back, you know, like you put it in a professional way. Hey, I have a concern, I think there is a wrong link, you sent us a wrong book, could you please kindly review? And somebody from customer service would always return your email and say, hey, listen, there was an error. Yeah, we're going to issue a credit memo. And if we're talking about $200,000 we spent with this vendor, believe me, over $180 is not going to make a fuss. They return your money and they know you bring them more business. You bring them thousands and thousands of dollars everywhere. You bring them millions of dollars every year. And it's only one library, but imagine all the libraries, all the university libraries, how many $1 million. So if they have a mistake in the system, they're always going to fix it to you no matter what. That's what we call real good customer service. And they're not gonna spoil a good business with you just because 1 or 2 or 3 books are wrong and they need to return you $300 versus you take away $500,000 business with them. So that's what I call good business relationship. Thank you for listening to my live stream. Thank you for being with me this evening. Please watch my videos about how I do my Zumba, how I lose weight. Please ask questions, write comments, whatever you want to ask about Big Library. I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud to be employed. I looked at my retirement plan, and it's about 15 years I have until I plan to retire. So I've been working there 10 years and 15 more, and I'm gonna be good. I have my savings, my husband has his savings, and we're gonna be very happy retired people, and hopefully we can, you know, have a very comfortable retirement. Thank you for being with me, listening to my live stream. Love you all. Please write comments, ask questions. Bye bye. Love you all. Thank you everybody who wrote me messages and comments during this live stream. Love you all. Have a good Sunday, and please stop by for the next live stream on my channel. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good night.